Wow. Wow. My goodness. Sam Houston comes in as a 20-point underdog and walks out with a victory. How are you feeling tonight, guys? We are live. The Bearkat Bites post game is live. Thanks to you, thanks to your donations, thanks to your contributions, those $50 annual memberships. We are live at Reser Stadium in Oregon, in Corvallis, Oregon. Thanks to you guys, we are here. Look at that. Look at that beautiful stadium that is here. Look at one of those beautiful Pac-12 stadiums. This is the house. This is the place where Sam Houston secured its first 2025 victory. This is the place where it happened. A 21-17 victory over Oregon State. Just in a game that had everything. In a game that had a little bit of everything. I got to sit next to Ben, the SID, and some members of the Sam Houston crew. Man, let me tell you, that was an up and down roller coaster. We're not going to be here too long tonight, guys. I know it's late night. We're not going to be here too long. I got to actually get back to Portland, which is about an hour and a half away, but there shouldn't be a ton of traffic. There should not be a lot of traffic on the way. All right, let's just get to your comments. Get in here and sound off. I can't believe we won the game. I can't believe it either. I can't believe it either. I walked into here thinking that the final was going to be about 41-17. I walked in here thinking that. Okay, let me tell you what I walked in here and did. I posted some stuff for you guys. I got some shots of the stadium. I got some tailgating and all of that different energy, and I posted it for you all. We'll have some more later too. But I thought that was about all we were going to do. I had a losing article ready to go. I didn't write it yet, but I was pretty sure. Now I've got to rip the whole thing up. I'm probably going to be writing and typing early. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I may just stay up. I don't even know why the hell I have a hotel room. I might as well just stay in the car in the parking lot and type this and then give it to you guys, because there's so much. Where do you all want to start? Do you want to start with the 2 special teams touchdowns? Now, I told you, I talked about in the Bearkat Bites, in the newsletter, which is why you need to subscribe. I said Oregon State special teams, there is something to take advantage of there. And maybe Phil Longo was listening in on what we were saying. Maybe Phil Longo was listening in on what we had to say, because block punts, both teams combined for 1 field goal made out of 5 attempts. So it was kind of wonky on both sides, a little bit crazy. You want to talk about that? Let's see some comments. We're just going to get into this. We're going to go until about half hour after. We'll go here for a little bit, as long as you all keep the comments going. All right. Longo almost lost this game by throwing the ball. Okay, yeah. Now that part, yes. If they had lost, I was ready to ask about it. I was ready to ask about why are you not running the football? Why are you sitting there throwing deep in your own end zone? And it was almost another bad pick. It was a couple of times. It could have been real bad. This game easily could have went the other way. Okay, so Landon Locke gets in the game. Already Hunter Watson's not playing. He's hurt. Maybe Matoyer struggling, and it's looking like the same thing again, right? It's looking like a repeat of the Hawaii game. That's what it ended up looking like. That's what I wrote down when I first saw Landon kind of get in and struggle a little bit after those first stellar driver, couple of passes or so, but it was not to be. It was that, the usual stuff was not to be. And how about the Sam Houston defense? 13 tackles for Dylan Frazier, a freaking interior defensive lineman. Like I told you all, it's I don't know if we'll ever see it again. The Pac-12 logo still proudly shines on Reser Stadium. This was a classic Pac-12 after dark game. On the West Coast, things get weird, guys. Things get weird, which is why I call it the best coast. You never know what's going to happen around here. You never quite know what's going to happen when you are west of the Rocky Mountains. And Sam Houston found that out, right? Again, I was ready to ask that question. I was ready to ask about why aren't you running the clock? Why are you doing that? But it was not meant to be. So after the game, I had to race down, like these visitor stadiums, just nothing is labeled. And of course, the security, they know how to boss people around, but can't tell you where anything is. So I finally found Longo. I was going to try to get a couple of players too, but we ended up just with Phil Longo. And he was decidedly very happy. He said he kept the game ball for himself to mark the start of winning. So there's that. I would have given out a couple of game balls. I would have did like they did in the NFL, give out a couple of game balls, but I get it. I get the sentiment. 20 years in between victories for Phil Longo. He was the head coach at the school that no longer plays football, and LaSalle, I think, yeah. And now at Sam Houston, this coming Wednesday, would have marked 20 years that Phil Longo has marked 20 years in between Phil Longo's last victory and this one as a head coach. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Back in the end of 1995, that was the last time he had won a game as a head coach. That is crazy. That's something to think about. What else? Where else do y'all want to go? I mean, Sam Houston won this game despite getting outgained on offense, despite having more penalties, despite not having as many passing yards, despite Anthony Hankerson running it down their throat a lot of the time. Sam Houston was still able to figure this game out. None of the stats make sense. None of this makes sense. But again, that's why the article this Sunday, when I do get around to writing it, is going to talk about just how this was a game fit for Pac-12 after dark. You throw out all the stats, where all that matters is that final score. This is a nice one of the crew members with Oregon State. She gave me this, and I guess I'll have to keep that. New QB shows promise. Again, we'll be here. We're probably gonna be here to about 30 after. I'm sure these folks want to go home too, and I want to head back to the hotel. So we'll keep talking a little bit here. But we've been on about 6-7 minutes now, but I did definitely, after the first win of the season, we would be remiss. I would be remiss as a reporter to not be on here with you all at 1:30 in the morning Central Time, Houston or Texas time, right? Now it's about 11, it's almost 11:30 here. And so it's just a crazy night. The QB has shown promise. Landon Locke. Now the problem is Landon Locke. You get four games with him before you have to burn his red shirt. They didn't waste a game. They were forced to use him in this game, and it was worth it. You had to get a victory. They smelled an opportunity and a chance to get a victory, and they pounced on it. And all I can say is good for them. Good for them. I'm not going to sit here and let me move this jacket here. I'm not going to sit here and say that was the wrong move, especially when you pull out the first win of the season. You're in a situation where you need energy. You need as much positive energy right now as you can get. And it has happened. And you went up against a team even better that had found some momentum. Oregon State had found momentum. Remember, Rob Akey, their interim coach, had them on a 2-game winning streak, including over their rival Washington State. So there was a lot of momentum coming into this game. It was Oregon State's senior night, and you were able to come in here and win that. New subscriber, I'll catch you on the next one for sure. We appreciate having you. Subscribe, and if you love Sam Houston football, tell other people. This is the only independent media outlet covering Sam Houston football all year around. That's all we cover. That means July 10th, you're going to get some Sam Houston stuff, right? Unless I'm on vacation with the wifey. So that's around March. Our anniversary is in March. So some of y'all remember this past year, I was gone for about 2 weeks. So, but I digress on that. But the point is we're here year round. Keep laying some on me. We'll go for about a few more minutes. Keep laying some comments on me, all right? We'll go for a little bit longer. What did you all think about the game? What did you all think? How happy are you? Now, a few days ago, we did the piss meter. You guys were angry. You guys were ready to throw something. Y'all was ready to go Buffalo Bills and get in here and fight somebody. And I said rightfully so. I mean, you were staring at 0-9. I say rightfully so. If you want to get mad, get mad. So now that there's a victory and a pretty good one, considering the circumstances, how do you feel now? How is the Sam Houston fan base feeling now? Will there be more than 500 people at the next game, at the game against Delaware? That's really the question. Will there now be 600 people instead of the 500 that usually show up because they're playing all the way down in Houston? Locke starts the next 3 games, right? I don't think they want to burn a red shirt. I don't think he starts the next 3 games. This is you backed yourself into a corner with Locke. That's kind of the issue with Locke. starting him. He played as soon as Landon Locke came in the game, things just turned around. Like literally, and didn't even have to warm up with the receivers. Clearly, he's the best quarterback that they've got on the roster. But the problem is, you don't want to burn a red shirt. So, in a perfect world, he would start the last 3 games and you'd get a glimpse of the future. But right now, that's going to burn a red shirt, And maybe they just should have had him starting earlier in the season. And I've told you all that given the fact that nobody's going to see the games for Sam Houston because they play an hour and a half south in Houston, that was the perfect laboratory, the perfect incubator to experiment with Locke, to figure out what does he do well, let him make his mistakes. I said that was perfect, but they, because of the reasons, because of red shirt, they waited. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We need to get some larger defensive ends in the offseason. Frazier needs some help. He does. Yeah, Frazier again, 13 tackles for a defensive line guy. That's crazy. And he had a little bit of help. Zaquee Lawton did a couple of things. Chris Eaton did a few things. They let Anthony Hankerson run ragged on him. They did let that happen. And Anthony Hankerson finished with 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought he was going to be 100. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I thought Hankerson was going to finish with 197. I thought they were going to, and 3 touchdowns, because they were going to try to get him to 1,000 yards on senior night tonight. It wasn't his senior night, but I thought that was what they were going to try to do. They came close, came within 30 yards of it, came within 30 yards of it. There were some concerning things about the defensive line, but they played a lot more aggressive, man. I saw Freddie Autry-Lindsey about 30 minutes ago down on the field. A very happy guy, ready to get back, and very happy. Everyone is. That's going to be a fun charter plane ride back to College Station and then the drive to Huntsville. Sam Houston took a charter flight here. I can tell you about that. I can tell you that they're going back tonight. As we speak, they're headed back to the plane right now. I'm not flying out until tomorrow morning, but I may as well just fly out tonight, because by the time I get back and lay down and write this stuff, it's going to be time to go. It's pretty much going to be time to drop this off and call it a night, We got about couple more minutes here, guys. The secondary did show some promise tonight. The secondary looked good. Yeah, they were shaky at first. I thought it was about to just be more of the same nonsense. I was ready to just copy and paste from last week. I told you, I walked into this press box ready to copy and paste, okay? I thought it was going to be an easy night, have a nice trip out to the Northwest, enjoy some fall, because we don't get that in Houston, you know what I'm saying, where we're based out of. But, no, well, I did enjoy the fall. I did get that, but I ended up having to write more than I thought I would, which is totally fine. But the secondary looked good, man. Iman Allen with a couple of nice plays. Alonzo Edwards did get burned. There was the Alonzo Edwards getting burned, so that's always an issue. But yeah, overall, Tyler Bailey, interception, pass deflection. I know a lot of you all have been very critical of Tyler Bailey. There's been a lot of Tyler Bailey critics out here, guys that just and again, I've told you, you want to get out there and criticize him, you want to get out there and get on the guy, you have every right to. You have every right to. They're grown men. They can take it. They know they knew that they sucked and they had to improve. And so they did. And so the flip side of that is when they improve, you got to recognize that as well. And it looked good. Tyler Bailey and Iman Allen are probably your MVPs in the secondary, which who would have thought that walking into tonight? The team has been let's see, keep them coming, guys. The team has been in need 300 pound on the D line. Yeah, well, last year the D line was okay because you had guys being aggressive, getting to the quarterback. That was a product of Skylar Cassidy, who is now, probably in line for a larger defensive job. He might be in line for some head coaching jobs. Who knows? He's helping lead the turnaround North Texas with a lot of the guys that were on Sam Houston's defense. So, you got to have guys that can get pressure on a quarterback. Be they big like that or be they smaller but quicker. You got to get pressure by hook or by crook. So, 300 pounders, I'll listen to that. Young guys made tonight. They did. You had Dean Ford making some plays. Darian Jackson got hurt a little bit. I meant to ask Longo about that. I barely got into Longo's interview because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. These away games are the worst thing about them is trying to find where the away press conference is. And they don't let you down on the field here, during the game. So until 5 minutes left. But by that time, it's a bunch of folk on the elevator, right? So, it's just one of those things. That's the way it goes sometimes in life.
Excuse me.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
You can go to like the back or another room. But
we can go to the back.
I mean, there's a back wall right there.
Oh, we can do it? Okay.
Yeah,
sorry about that. For sure. Let's head to the back real quick, guys. Let's head to the back here, guys. But yeah, it was very good. But yeah, we'll head back here and talk to you guys. The young guys did make tonight. Yeah, Dean Ford, you had a couple of different people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dean Ford. Look at this new background we got. That's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, you had a couple of them. But overall, just an impressive win. Overall, just an impressive victory. You know what I mean? If they were going to win one, that was probably it. If they were going to get victory number one. 20.5 point underdog. My goodness. 20.5 points. I mean, how impressive is that? I mean, I don't know if that's the biggest upset of the year, points wise, but it's got to be up there. Yes.
We can hear you.
Well, he said go to the back. Yeah, I don't know why he sent me here.
There's probably an open room down this
Okay,
way.
cool.
Nobody's in there.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry about that, man.
I know you're not
Yeah, because he said just come to the back, but sorry about that. One of these right here.
Yeah, on your left.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
oh, somebody's in here. Let's see what we can go in here, guys. Here we go. Here's a quiet spot right here. All right, we found a nice quiet place. All right, so there we go. The team show fighting spirit. Sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, sometimes, man. It doesn't. Sam Houston has been close. You looked at the Jacksonville State game, and that showed their potential, right? That showed their potential. Now, after that loss, what made me fearful was the fact that everything, kind of fell apart mentally with them. It felt like a little bit, right? Because that's when you start hearing about the reports of the players. That's when you start hearing about all this different stuff. Longo's having to defend the program. People get mad. And so that's what makes this one even better. That's what makes it even better. They showed a lot of fight. They definitely did. What did y'all think about that? What did you all think about that? How do you all feel about the program overall right now? Are you all ready to celebrate? Are you all ready to make some other things that still need to see more? What do you think? Keep laying them on me. We'll go for a little bit longer here. Again, you were outgained in yards. You had more penalties, but the difference was the special teams. And let me tell you something. Y'all want in on a little secret? The Oregon State beat writers and the Oregon State SIDs, they are mad. Why do you think we had to move? Now the writers were cool about it, but the SID, yeah, he sounded mad. He did not want any. You really think they want to hear the one Sam Houston writer that came through talking about a Sam Houston win on their senior night? That's funny. But next play. You never take it too personally. But yeah, the SID was upset. Oh, let me give you a fun story that happened in the press box. So that kickoff return for the touchdown, the athletic director, Bobby Williams, had some of his assistants, and I guess some of his crew was there. And the guy stood up. Yeah! He just yells and screams in the press box, which if you don't do anything else, don't do that. Just sit quietly in the press box and you won't get bothered. That guy got loud. And as a result, Yeah, that guy got loud, and as a result, he was told to leave. He just told him to leave. He needs to go to the AD box. Yeah, I know he needs to go to the AD box. Yeah, they're SIDs here. Not the chillest people in the world, considering we're in a place where all the fun green grass is legal. Not the chillest people, but it's been a tough season for Oregon State too. I can't really blame them. It's been frustrating. It's been a frustrating season for Oregon State, but they've had a couple nice wins though. Well, one over Wazoo. You know, if two of their three wins come over their rival, you know, considering the season, it's kind of, you know, they're low key. Excuse me, they're low key in the boat that Sam Houston is. It's very interesting. They're just trying to keep up with the trends of FBS. They're trying to rebuild this Pac-12. It's a very noble assignment. It's very noble, but it's just like Sam Houston. They're trying to be the little engine they could as well, just out here out west. Now I think they're obviously more well resourced than Sam Houston. I mean, you walk around this place, it's beautiful. The stadium is beautiful. The leaves, the colors, all of this stuff. It's very nice. But yeah, that was a win Sam Houston needed to have. I talked about there's going to be special teams opportunities for Sam Houston because I did not like the look of Oregon State's special look. Now, they had a couple of missed field goals. They gave up the two touchdowns on special teams, punt block touchdown, kickoff return touchdown. I don't know that that's ever happened in the same game before in Sam Houston history. We had been the SID looking that up for us, but we don't know. Excuse me. We don't know. So it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting right now what you got from Sam Houston. What do y'all think about that? How are you all feeling? How are you all feeling about the program right now? They showed a lot of fight. They went out into a hostile environment on the opposing team senior night, thousands of miles away. I tried to get Phil Longo to say it. He won't admit it, but I know he's glad that they're done with this portion of the schedule. He said we're experts at traveling and all of that. But dude, if I filled him with truth serum, I know you're glad about that. Excuse me, because the only other trip now is basically up to Nashville, in the suburbs of Nashville and Murfreesboro, to play Middle Tennessee. And the two of the last three are home. I know that was a relief for them. I know that was a relief to be in that spot and tone down the temperature a little bit because it was boiling hot. Like I said, some of y'all on the last broadcast, y'all were ready to go in, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And I stirred the pot a little bit. But a good win for Sam Houston, 21-17. Just, you know, going forward, well, you got Delaware next. You've got one of their old coaches coming back, well, a bunch of Sam Houston assistants that are there at Delaware. So they're going to want to try to have some fun, improve a message, improve a point. I'm just looking at stuff in here. They got media stuff. They got all sorts of media stuff in here. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, we'll see what this means. We'll see what this means. But yeah, if y'all don't have anything else, it is late. I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to write. They're tired of me talking. Y'all are probably tired of hearing it too. But make sure y'all go and subscribe to the newsletter. Make sure you support for a year. We got products and fun stuff coming your way. Again, you guys did this. You all got us out here to Oregon. We're the only media outlet out here covering it. We're going to have a full game story and all that stuff for you guys. So it's on the way. It's on the way. So you guys take care. Have a great night. We'll see y'all. Take care.